In 1555, Christopher Plantin began printing in Antwerp. His press remained in operation until 1876, when it was turned over to the city. Today, the Plantin Moretus Museum exists as a palatial example of Renaissance architecture. It houses, among other things, living quarters, a press room, a foundry, a bookshop, a library containing some 25,000 manuscripts and printed books, and a vast collection of original punches, matrices, woodcuts, and copperplate engravings. Here, under Plantin and his family, flourished the greatest printing office ever seen till the end of the 19th century. Plantin printed over 2,000 editions between 1555 and 1589, among them the famous Polyglot Bible. A large proportion of Plantinian books were illustrated with original woodcuts and engravings. Today, the museum houses the most historically important and complete collection of 16th and 17th century printing materials and archives. The museum and the English translation by Ray Nash of Plantin's Dialogue on Printing of 1567 provide the documentary basis for this film. Plantin commissioned his types from the foremost artists of Europe. His designers and punch cutters included Garamond, Grandchamp, Autain, Lebay, and Vandenkere. In making types for printing, it is necessary to have punches, which are steel bars, upon the end of which the desired character is engraved by means of counterpunches, burins, and files. As his work progresses, the letter cutter takes smoke proofs to guide him in correctly shaping the letter. The completed punch is struck into a small piece of copper, The result is a strike, or first state of the matrix. It receives the impression of the engraved character just as wax does when impressed with a seal. The matrix is then justified or squared up and finished so that it fits precisely into the mold in which the letter will be cast. The mold used for casting the letters is mounted on the woods. There is a little bow which lifts. Then there is the plate, the carriage, and the nick fastened to the carriage. Also essential to the complete mold are the body, the pins, the registers, and the jets. The mold is adjustable to form the various characters to the same proportion. To cast a letter or other character, the matrix is inserted. Then the bow is adjusted to hold the matrix in place. A molten mixture of lead, copper, and antimony is ladled into the mouth of the mold, and the letters are cast one at a time. The typecaster swings the mold in order to force the metal into the matrix. When the necessary quantity of one letter has been cast, the matrix will be removed and another put in its place. The casting will continue in this way until there is enough of every sort. After casting, the jets are broken off and the letters are rubbed on a smoothing stone and assembled. Now the body of the type is burnished to remove any burrs. Lastly, the feet are made square with a plow. The letters are distributed in a case which has as many boxes as there are different kinds of type. Types were cast in various faces and sizes because of the diversity of works that had to be printed. Plantin's types received names according to their association with particular books or authors, and sometimes because of their beauty or maker. The sizes of body types most commonly used for text were Joly, Coronel, Colonaeus, Philosophy, and Text. The common display sizes were Parangon, Asymptonica, Petit Canon, and Gros Canon. The following categories of letters in different sizes were recognized: Roman, italic, black letter, script, exotic, and musical notes. All of these types were made in the same way. Each font had its capitals, lowercase letters, ligatures, figures, accents, swash letters, points of punctuation, and miscellaneous signs. Before setting the type, the compositor fastens his copy to a visorum so that it will not become folded. Then he takes his composing stick and sets the letters one at a time. As each line is set, the compositor spaces and justifies it to make sure that the stick is tightly filled. When he has a stick full of lines, he places them in a galley where the pages are made up and ties up the completed page with thin cord. After 2, 4, 6, or 8 pages have been set, depending on the size of the book, they are imposed together in an iron chase. Because of the difference in sizes of the books, there are often 2 or more crossbars in the chase. Sometimes there are none at all. After the pages are imposed, they are locked with wooden furniture and coins in such a way that all the types are pressed in from every side, like the stays of a wooden barrel by its hoops. The form is then placed on the bed of the press, ready for printing. The materials used for locking up the form are called head sticks, side sticks, foot sticks, gutter sticks, and coins. The press stands firm between 2 cheeks, set upright on 2 feet. They are joined by the head above and the winter below, and are made secure above with pins, stays, and keys. The spindle is located between the cheeks, encased in the hose. The head of the spindle enters into the nut. Its toe rests in the stud. which is bedded in the top of the platen, a large, broad piece of iron suspended by means of iron rings that covers all that has to be printed. The press pictured here has a hose and platen different from the kind described by Plantin. This superimposed diagram shows the differences. A bar raises and lowers the spindle. The form rests on a stone set in the coffin and is held secure by 4 corner irons. Attached to the end of the coffin is the tympan, and attached to that is the frisket, which covers all the parts of the form which are not to be printed. The coffin runs back and forth the length of the ribs by means of a spit, to which the rounce is fitted. The paper must be dampened the day before printing, or the ink, although sticky, will not take hold. The ink is taken up from the ink slab with soft, leather-covered ink balls and is then beaten on the form. The ink has to be thick and sticky, lest it should run on the type. It is made from well-ground soot and linseed oil. The paper is pricked onto 2 small points fastened to the outer tympan, so that the sheet can be easily registered when it is turned over for printing on the other side. The paper is covered by the frisket. The tympan is lowered. The coffin is run halfway under the platen. The bar is pulled. The coffin is run clear in, and the bar is pulled for a second time because the platen cannot cover the whole form in one impression. If there is something wrong with the types, it is corrected after a proof has been seen by the corrector, who marks the errors for the printer. To correct a mistake, the form is unlocked, and the compositor pulls out the extra or faulty types and inserts others in their place. After correction, the lines are rejustified. During the Renaissance, corrections were continually made throughout the press run. This resulted in editions containing many typographic variations. After the corrections are made, the press run is continued. Since much of the time and expenses involved in making a book have already been incurred, 2,000 or 3,000 sheets can be printed for little more than the cost of additional paper. Plantin's records show that paper was 60 or 65% of the total cost. The stint of a working press at the Golden Compasses, Plantin's house, was set at 1,250 sheets a day, or 1,000 for the liturgical books printed with red ink as well as black. The size of his editions usually conformed to the daily output of a single press. Work began at 6 in the morning and ended at 8 in the evening. When the printing was finished, the form was put in a trough and scrubbed with lye to get rid of the remaining ink. The types were then returned to the compositor for distribution, each one to the box from which it came. After printing, the sheets were collated and folded, and the sets of gatherings were assembled into complete books. In this form, as unsewn, folded sheets, the Renaissance book went to market.